Goeienaand, good evening, fellow South Africans and citizens of the world. Now, I read reports yesterday that only about 10 to 12% of Eskom users, or people who use electricity from Eskom, are actually paying their bills. That's right, 1 in 10 people. Do you know who those 1 in 10 people mainly are? The white population in South Africa. That's the bottom line. So they're kind of carrying the whole bag, whereas the freeloaders are just the ones causing chaos, burning things down, rioting in the streets when they don't get their way like a bunch of children. It's absolutely disgusting. And just to put another nail in the coffin of the minority groups in South Africa, Eskom is looking at raising its electricity rate by 80% next year. I'm not joking. To help cover its debt. Okay, here we go. A sheepish-looking interim CEO, Jabu Mabuza, who officially began his tenure on Thursday, announced that the embattled state-owned enterprise had incurred a loss of almost 21 billion rand in 1 year. That was under Fakamane Hadebe, who Fakamani'd South Africa so well. I mean, really, that guy, he should be before the courts. What went on under his leadership was just incredible. Getting back to the story. This is an increase of almost 800% in financial losses since 2017, signifying the rapid demise of South Africa's power supplier. And while the much-loathed load-shedding schedule, which had cost the economy billions of rand in 2018, has been put on ice, the month of August and beyond brings with it more bad news. Now, I have to tell you that I've been watching the interview that Ted Blom had with, I think it was Enka, where he says that you can expect there's going to be more load shedding in August and September. He says just be prepared. So it looks like it's coming back. Anyway, energy experts have warned that load shedding is likely to make an ominous return in August. There you go. After Eskom announced that it was struggling to meet energy demands earlier in July. The power utility continued operational sustainability rests solely on the shoulders of government via the way of taxpayers' hard-earned cash. Read mainly the remaining white population who are jumping ship as fast as they can, believe me, those who can. But even gratuitous government bailouts, estimated to total in excess of 120 billion rand within the next 2 years, will struggle to keep the fires burning. A dismal power plant maintenance routine coupled with board uncertainty means that South Africans are in for a tough ride, whether it be at the mercy of load shedding, a greater taxation, or increased electricity tariffs. The latter is being eyed by Eskom as a way to recoup its 21 billion rand loss. According to Ted Blom, lead contributor to the Energy Expert Coalition, Eskom seeks to implement a 4-step turnaround strategy which includes 1. Increasing tariffs by challenging the previous NERSA, RCAS and MYPD decisions in court, with a target of increasing electricity tariffs by about 80%. Not 18, 80%. That's almost doubling the price of electricity in South Africa. 2, cut some costs, yet undefined. How about staff? They've got about 40% more staff than they actually need. This is how they're keeping the unemployment figures down. They're just making the white population pay a huge amount of taxes. If they put the rates up by 80%, they're going to be subsidizing all those staff workers who aren't needed. It's just absolutely ridiculous. 3, restructure and unbundle Eskom. 4, future application to government for more bailouts. While all of the above are contentious and slightly vague, It is point number one which will have South Africans fuming. In April, Eskom implemented a 14% tariff increase, which had been approved by the National Energy Regulator of South Africa, or NERSA. Further tariff hikes approved by NERSA will in 2020 and 2021 increase the cost of electricity to consumers by at least 22%. With financial strain already strangling South African consumers, rapidly rising electricity costs are becoming unaffordable. This in turn is giving rise to illegal electricity connections, which further decreased Eskom's annual takings and creates an unsafe environment. Municipal debt to Eskom currently stands at over 20 billion rand. While a 22% hike is bad enough, the 80% raise cited by Blom would be wholly unbearable for most South Africans. Get off the grid, guys. That's what you have to do. You just have to get off the grid. Eskom is sinking. It's sinking, and you now have to take that particular utility into your own hands. You've got to get solar power, generate your own electricity. Yeah, that's a no-brainer. You've just got to do that. Blom explained that in order to truly create affordable power, Eskom would need to trim its bloated workforce and root out any traces of corruption, saying, a proper clean-out of Eskom, especially the costly oversized headcount of over 30,000 persons, would have placed Eskom on a leaner and more agile platform, able to reduce electricity tariffs from about 1 rand per kilowatt to a pre-corruption level of 40 cents per kilowatt, which we were told does not carry the president's blessing. You know why it doesn't carry his blessing? Because he depends on the unions, that's why. Old Cyril Hippo Eyes, he's got his own political agenda, hasn't he? And while the rand is tanking, I don't know if you guys saw, but the rand is now down to, well, it's now nearly 15 rand to a US dollar. It tanked by a rand in the last week. Blom said, what we need to see at Eskom is a write-off of more than 1,000 billion from an inflated asset register, the introduction of competent, non-conflicted leadership, and a clear vision to again become a leading utility of the world. What we need more than ever is Ted Blom being CEO of Eskom, but because he's a white man, ain't gonna happen. They put these totally incompetent BEE appointees in these top positions, and that's why the whole of South Africa is just tanking. Anyway, sorry, I'm just having a bit of a rant while I tell you the story. Instead, government has opted to leave intact a board with nearly zero of the requirements Eskom desperately needs to turn around the sinking ship, while leading Eskom to its biggest loss in history, as well as a continental record in terms of size of the loss. So there you go. If you live in South Africa and you're getting your electricity from Eskom, you better start budgeting for another 80% increase in electricity next year. All right, guys, please remember to subscribe to be kept informed, ring the bell for updates, and have a safe evening. Bye for now.